Welcome to Hair Up, Bra Off podcast. We're here to be your new comfort fix with unfiltered conversations on random topics and gossip. As two women in their 30s, Catherine, who's been chronically single, and Sue, who is happily married with 2 cats. So take your bra off, throw your hair up, and let's get into it. And men, if you're listening, take notes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the best. I can't even talk. Welcome back to the best podcast out there. We are so happy you're here with us to discuss some fun things that we have seen this week. And I'm going to share with Sue 2 TikToks that I saw. One is regarding a hygiene trick that someone shared, and another one is a new wave cheating that I saw. And then we're also going to dive a little bit into Married at First Sight, the US version. So get set, get the popcorn ready because it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yes. What was the first one that you said? It's like a wellness retreat?
No, wellness. It's a hygiene hack wellness retreat.
I thought you said it was a hygiene like trip. That's something. And I was like, oh, you mean to Korea or to Turkey, like what they do with like the wellness?
Interesting enough. So I'm someone where I love to see a TikTok that is very relatable. And it's something that you didn't think anyone else did until they shared it. And then it's like, oh my God, we're all the same. We're all in this together. And this was about a woman sharing what she does during her period. And she says she's in the bathroom and she lifts up a tampon and she opens it and she goes, does anyone else do this? Sometimes it gets too dry down there. So I just stick my tampon in my mouth and then I stick it inside of me. And then I was like, wait a second. Absolutely not. Like I just froze in disbelief. And then I ran to the comments because I was like, I know I can't be crazy. Like this is not normal, right? And then I went to the comments and everyone was having the same reaction where, okay, you know what? I'm all for supporting women, but this might just be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
The other side of it was if it's that dry, maybe you should just put a pad in because
Right. Exactly.
It seems like a
my
lot.
recommendation. Yeah.
And I will say in her defense is sometimes I put in a tampon knowing it will get worse, but I'm taking the dryness as, okay, I'm preparing for the future, but I'm okay with it. And so isn't that insane? Like I was like, there's no way anyone has heard of that or done that.
Also, people forget that pads exist. Like I usually don't wear tampons. I do a lot of pads because I'm freaked out about anything going inside of me. In general, like we're freaked out.
I'm someone who I used to be an avid tampon user just because when I'm out and about, I just never felt comfortable with the pad. I always felt like you can hear it, which I know is not true. That's in my head. That's a me problem. Or I was just always worried. I just thought, okay, as long as the tampon's in there, it will do all the work. But now lately, I've switched to where I prefer wearing pads now more. And mainly because I go to the bathroom a lot because I'm drinking more water. And so it's just me constantly. I felt like I was wasting these tampons going to the bathroom so much that a pad is just a lot more efficient in that way.
Yeah.
Where it's
easier to, I think, just like wear, especially, if it's this woman, like, is having like a light period, then like don't do that. Or I mean, isn't there like water or something? I mean, maybe that doesn't
dip it in the sink before
like something. I feel like that's not very like safe.
It doesn't seem very hygienic.
Yeah.
I always say the downstairs area is a very well-balanced ecosystem where introducing anything that shouldn't be down there can throw it off.
Yeah.
And so you know how many germs are in your mouth?
Too many.
That now intentionally you're putting up your U-Haul. You don't know how many times she's doing that trick. I mean, it could be multiple times a day. She's like
now that we found out, it's like now we're scared for you, girlie.
Now we're worried.
How many times have you done it? There was also like I watched a few videos also on like the menstrual cup.
Yes,
which scares the shit out of me. I don't know. And there was a woman that was talking about how she couldn't get it out. She had to call her husband, and the husband had to come in with like he tried at first with like his hand, and then he couldn't. So then he had to come in with the like this big like
tongs?
Industrial, to go in there and pull it out.
Wow,
that's not right. When something requires that level of effort, I feel like that is not like a good thing. What happened to, again, I go back, what happened to pads? Just like good old,
Yeah.
pads are not going up there. They're just there. It's like all these other things are being like invented, I think, for, and like I kind of get it. It's like this need to like not have, I guess, like blood everywhere, which like kind of makes sense. But the other part of it, and I think this is the one that like bothers me the most, is the part of like, well, you can have sex with a menstrual cup.
I didn't I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
That
Wait, can
is
you?
so scary to me, Kat.
Wait a second.
Explain to me the mechanics of that. Not okay.
I'm literally looking this up because I don't even know if that's humanly possible, even though I do believe you. I'm like, I need to see a diagram. I need to see you cannot have sex with a diva cup inside of you.
No, but which one?
Just any menstrual cup.
Well, I have friends that have.
So it's between you can't and then people who just do.
Wait, hold on. With a menstrual cup. So what about this one? Look, the Flex company.
Nope, it says you can't either with the flex.
It says that on their website.
Are you talking about a cup or a disc? There's two different things.
The disc. Okay. What is a disc? Isn't it the same thing?
I have no idea.
It looks like the same thing.
So you see how it's flat though? It's not a cup. It's a shape like
Mm-hmm.
a disc, and that's what you stick up, and it basically is like a corkscrew.
Yeah, it looks like this. Yeah.
So like the whole canal is open, but when you have the cup takes up the whole canal.
Okay. I think though, the whole thing just gives me like,
I was just thinking I was like, there's no way, because I've seen so many videos on the menstrual disc that I was like, that guy must have had the tiniest thing if that worked out. I
well,
was like, there's no way.
I know of someone that like does it all the time with whatever she's
That's
wearing.
very intriguing. That I feel
But
like that's might be her
I'm
anatomy.
I'm less concerned about. I'm just concerned about that thing getting stuck up there more than anything else. Like more than like
Yeah.
more than for any other party, more than like for comfort, non-comfort. Like I'm really scared for this thing not being
Yeah.
able to come out. Oh my God, that's my biggest fear. Can't.
No, I
My
can
biggest fear.
understand. So I guess I'm a little less sensitive to that because I used to have the NuvaRing birth control, where it's basically a clear ring that you have to stick up your area and it stays up
Mhm.
there. And there was times where it took me a while to feel it and I got scared. And then one time I couldn't feel it at all. And so I ran to the gynecologist and she laughed and she goes, your insides is not a dark, deep black hole that swallows things. Like if you typically can't feel it or if it's hard, it's just an angle. Like you never have to worry. And she checked and she's like, yeah, the NuvaRing fell out. That's why you weren't able to find it. And I was like, oh, okay. And ever since then, I've never thought of that with the Diva cup, at least like me worrying it will get stuck in there. But
Mm.
for me, it's more of a, how do I know what is happening with it inside of me? Like, how do I know if it's full? How do I know if it's empty?
Right.
And then
Right.
you have to boil it after every use. So you have to take it out and to reuse it, you have to clean it and then boil it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I know for a fact I'm too lazy to go in and then boil it
You have
and
to
then
have a
put it back
whole
in.
thing happening, like
Mhm.
a whole like lab going
And
on.
I think with this, it's definitely more of a comfort because I do feel if like women are out and about a lot and they don't have the time, or if they have heavier periods, and it makes a lot of sense to have the cup. But I have not reached that. And it's just a lot of work.
Yeah,
As to say,
it's a lot of work.
everyone's period is different. It's like having its own personality where you know what to pick and choose to best fit it. And especially now, I never thought that I would be more of a pad girl than I typically was, always just tampon, tampon, tampon. But now I'm like, no, pad,
Pad go
pad,
for the
pad.
win, man. I need to wear pads now. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do. I sleep with them, gotta like
Mm-hmm.
work with them. Just like a lot. Tampons are a lot. Unless you're like going to like a spa or something.
Yeah, of course. There's definitely
Yeah.
circumstances where I'm like, I definitely need to. But I've heard of other things. So the main point was this girl trying to share this relatable thing where I think it just opened everyone's eyes on people really be doing the randomest things that you never know about. And
Yeah.
to go to another extreme on that, I did see one that I related to a lot, which was this girl saying, I don't know if this is nasty or not, but I use the same underwear throughout my whole period if I'm using pads. Like I never change it.
Yeah.
And I
Same.
was like, I do the same thing because the underwear is not getting dirty. It's the
Yeah.
pad that's taking the punch. And I went to the comments and everyone's like, yes, I thought I was the only one. So relatable. We're all in this
But
fight.
you're gonna mess up one thing, you might as well just mess up the same one.
Amen to that. Exactly. And of course, I would change it if there was a leak involved. I wouldn't continue using the same one that already got leaked on. But I mean, pads do a great job and they take in everything.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
might as well. And I was like, okay, that's relatable. That's a lot better than sticking a tampon in your mouth and then like a slip and slide. I can't.
That's still not right. No.
But anywho, on the next end of this, I also saw another TikTok where I really wanted to talk about because it was someone who was explaining how they found a new way where you can cheat through messages on your phone. Now, there are, obviously you have Snapchat where the messages disappear.
That's where all the holes are at, by the way, Snapchat.
And someone said that they found that guys have started using Notes app because they'll create a note with someone and then they'll share the note with that person. And so then they just start talking through the notes. Does that make sense? Like, how we have a Notes app where we were sharing all the stuff we needed for the podcast?
Oh, wait, you can share those with people?
Yeah, we shared Notes app. Remember? Like, when you create a note on your on your iPhone.
And people can add to it, like, without having to message you.
Yeah, like, you can invite someone to that Notes app, and you guys can just continue the conversation, and it will
Oh,
update
yes,
your
yes.
phone.
Okay, yeah. But
Mhm.
if you're if you're a girl and you're talking to your man via notes, don't you think there's something wrong at that point? Like, you'd have to know that, like,
That was
someone's
my
cheating or
first
something.
instinct is this should have never become a thing because
Right.
no man or woman or anyone should just be chill about the fact that someone wants you to communicate through Notes app. Like, there's not one good reason
Yeah.
for that to
Well,
be a thing.
I knew someone that was dating someone that was married, and they would communicate via Twitter only.
That's such a niche thing. Like, yeah, Twitter. Out of everything, Twitter.
Twitter, because that was the one app that, like, I think the wife wouldn't check or something.
See, and it's at that point because I always say
Which, it makes sense. Like, who the fuck is checking Twitter?
Yeah,
You're checking
no one.
Instagram, like, your text messages, WhatsApp, whatever. Twitter?
Yeah, that's
Like, no
the
one's using that
graveyard.
anymore. Yeah.
I would say I tend to say that if someone is cheating on their partner, I don't get mad or think ill will towards the person who's, how do I say this? Like, how
The non-responsible party, like the
yeah,
person that's
exactly.
not in
The
the relationship.
person who obviously, quote unquote, isn't aware that this person has a partner and is continuing the relationship should never be blamed because they're not in the committed relationship. Yes. But there also is a side of me where it's like, if you're communicating through Notes app, now I'm looking at you sideways. Now I'm like, you know what? There should be some level of responsibility on that front.
Yeah. No, totally. Like, for sure that that's not the main form of communication of anyone, really. But you know what? Who knows? Like, because I feel like a lot of men do a really good job at, like, gaslighting people or women. So they would say something crazy like, I don't know, I can't really, like, I work for the CIA. And
that's what I was just thinking. You read my mind. I was like, I can see I'm at CIA.
You know what I mean? Like, I work for the CIA, and so, like, I can't be, like, texting, or I don't have a public, like, profile, and WhatsApp and text is the same. So, like, it's gonna have to be via Notes app. And I bet you there's some bitch out there.
Oh, yeah.
Just, yeah. You know that. There's a woman out there, like, having dinner with her friends being like, well, he can't because he works for the CIA. And then you're like, my God. Like,
and I could just imagine him using the excuse of, I'm trying to protect you because there's so many people after me that I want to make sure you're safe. And then she goes and says, he's just really overprotected of me. He doesn't want me to, like, get involved or people to find me. So now we use Notes app. And it's like, girl.
And also he doesn't have access to any of his cards at the moment, but he needs cash. So I've been, like, giving him $500 a week in cash just so that he can, sustain himself just for now, because his assets are frozen at the moment. But he's super rich. And it's like, girl, like, at some point you're gonna have to, like, that this is advice for, I think, a lot of women. It's like, don't believe anything that the man says. Immediately assume it's a lie.
And this is a really good, you just made me think of a really good question. or what I think about, because sometimes I'll watch 90 Day Fiance, or what is it, Love After Lockup, where you initially see this really nice person who all they want is love. They just want to be with someone. And then they start telling you more about the relationship and all the red flags where, oh, no, he can't FaceTime that much because he doesn't have Wi-Fi, or, oh, his assets are frozen. So I have to pay for everything, or, oh, he doesn't have a job right now because, he is just very creative, or, oh, he doesn't want, like, they just give all these things and I start to feel bad for them. But then I reach a point where, why am I feeling bad for this person who's allowing this to happen? I think it reaches a threshold where, okay, I can no longer feel sorry for you because it's so evident that this person is playing you and you're allowing it, that I can't feel bad for you anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know?
No, like the lies need to, like, they never stop. They just like they're always like
Hmm.
just lying.
And it's just crazy. So anyways, that's what I was thinking with this notes app. If anyone asks you to communicate via notes, you need to block them, okay? And report them to the police,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
that's weird.
Don't, and you know that this person has to be able to communicate via other methods. Like it
Yeah.
cannot just be the notes app. Like there's no way. Like
And another thing that I found out about, that, well, not found out about, but I remembered, was I remember when iPhones first came out, there was this app
you
where,
remembered.
yes, remembered.
I love that. Never heard that
It's
before.
it looks like a calculator app on your phone. But then when you click on it, it is a photo bank where you can put photos and save them through that app. So if someone looks through your phone, they're not going to click on it because it's going to look like it's just a calculator, like it's disguised. And that's the other thing. I was like, dang, now I have to worry about how many calculators does this man have? You go on his phone, he's like 50 different calculators. I'm like, that's suspicious. That's
Wait, one
weird.
thing that I also realized recently, randomly, about talking about phones, is that because I listen to a lot of true crime, and this one of the roommates that killed like two of his roommates at like 1:30 a.m., the phone shows that he activated his flashlight, and the host was like, "I bet you didn't know that your phone saves the information around when you used your flashlight and when you didn't."
It's insane. I had no idea that it was that much data that could be collected
Yep.
on such a specific moment.
Yeah. They basically caught him just following the phone, because it was like the phone was like at the apartment, and then it goes somewhere off like for like an hour, it travels for an hour, turns on the flashlight. Suspicious. What are you doing with
What?
the flash for like a solid 30 minutes? Obviously, he's like getting rid of the bodies, and then comes back and goes back to the apartment at like 3:30 a.m.
That is, I'm in disbelief, because I tell people there's one thing that I can't live without, and that is my flashlight app. Like when I use my flash, I use that thing for everything. If you looked at my data, you would be like, wow, she's so
The cops,
erratic.
the cops would be like, "She's so blind. We don't even know why she, like, when she was using that. She just needs that for everything."
It's just constantly on no matter what I do.
It's like August 10:30 a.m. and it's like, and she's in a park. Like, why is she using that?
Yeah, it is. She's driving. Why is she using the flashlight app? I use it
Clean
for
up.
everything. I mean, mainly because, like, I have contacts. If I think there's something in my eye, my phone's like this. So
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
see it.
That's
So
so funny.
wait a second, but that is so interesting to note. So, okay, wow, good to know. Make
Yeah.
sure you remember that, or don't remember that if
Well,
you need to know that information.
it's just if you're like hiding bodies, which
Yeah,
that's kind of where it came. Like that was when it became a problem. Like, because it goes for like, why is his phone traveling an hour and a half away and then being like turned on flashlight
yeah,
wise for 30 minutes? It's
that's
giving you're in dark woods somewhere and
yeah.
you're hiding a body.
Yeah, and the thing with my flashlight, it's always off and on, off and on. It's never like consistently on actually, I'm
Mm.
lying. I yeah. Someone at Apple looking at my erratic behavior, like, we probably should report her. There's something that seems off here.
Yeah, but I had no idea. So I thought that was like super interesting. Just the things that your phone like kind of records and remembers.
And it
And then
thinks,
he used ChatGPT. He
of
was like,
course.
"What happens to a body if it's inside of a trash can for like 10 days?"
And it's like, you can't even work around that. You can't excuse that. Like, oh, I was using it for something else. Oh, I had another thing. Like, no, there's only one time.
And that's a
You
day
need that.
after he travels to the woods, turns on the flashlight for 30 minutes, and then goes back to the apartment at like 4 a.m. 9 a.m. So this guy woke up and was like, "Wait a second, what happens to a body when?" And I'm just like, "That's crazy."
I Yeah. I'm just happy that there are a lot of stupid criminals out there, and I hope they
Yeah,
continue
that's
because
what the host of this show was saying because
yeah,
he was a dumbass.
because I mean, the scarier people are the ones that use the encyclopedias and they,
Mhm.
go in the
Mhm.
back end and there's no login or you can see what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean, people nowadays, they even get caught on the opposite side because now, for example, like, and again, I watch a lot of crime shows, so this is just me knowing too much. But because we're glued to our phones, what happens now, the more modern ones, is that one day, so John Smith uses his phone all the time and it's like on his room with him. One day, John Smith decides to leave the house without his phone.
interesting.
And it's the day that this person disappears.
Mhm.
And then you're like, wait a second. Why do you not bring your phone with you this particular day out of all the days? You know what
And
I mean? So they get caught even like on the other side of like, well, now I'm planning to like be like not have my phone because I know like I'm gonna be doing great. Or like they share their location with people and then that day they like turn off the location sharing.
sketched. Yep.
Is that crazy? Dude, our phones will give everyone away. Like
Mhm.
nowadays. If you have a phone, it's like really like you've been tracked this whole like your phone knows your behavior. So the day that there's something different about your behavior, like it's suspicious.
It's like people don't realize that there's a pattern to everything you do. And especially since we don't see it, it's all backdated somewhere else. You don't realize it
Hmm.
until you see it, on paper or when someone points it out that you're like, oh shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because, like, if you
exactly.
forget your phone, what's the first thing you do? You turn around and go get it. Like, there's never been a
Right.
time where I'm like, I'll just leave my phone for the day. That's no, that's sketched.
Hey, man. Yeah. So anyway, all that I'm gonna say with that is just like you'll get caught basically. Like it's really hard. It's really hard not to catch you nowadays, man. Like it's really. And then on the other side of the spectrum, even if you did everything right and like no one even found out, one day your like cousin decides to do 23andMe, and then they're like,
Yeah.
that was a DNA, so shows
Hmm.
that it's you. The amount of people that have been caught like that.
That I saw a TikTok where a woman said they just got a phone call in regards to how her DNA has now been connected to a crime investigation, and she's like, "I'm
Yeah.
so excited! Catch that motherfucker!"
Because and the usually for those, and again, sorry because I watch too much of
I
these
love
types of
this.
shows.
You're teaching me so
But
much.
yeah, but what I also learned is like those types of crimes, like the ones that they haven't had a resolution for that are getting solved via like DNA, it's typically a crime of opportunity. So usually when someone kills somebody, it's like people that know them. Like that's where the investigators start, right? They're like, okay, partner, 60% of the case is fucking partner, right? It's
Hmm.
so easy. Like I don't even know why they try anymore to hide it. Like, I don't know, I just found her. Sweetheart, we know it was you. Okay.
Right.
So that's too easy. That's level difficulty. That's like one,
Hmm.
for investigators. They're just like, where is the husband? Like, they're like, that's probably the person. And then it's, after that, it's basically like some like third party, like some sort of like well planned, like obsession, like someone from work or like someone that had like a vendetta against them from like high school or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like that's third level of difficulty. I'm gonna have like my little like crime guide, but it's like third level is if like there's some sort of money involved and they know that they have like money and it's like a
Hmm.
like a or like a drug deal. Like there's just something that has to happen for someone else not to be like caught or whatever it is. And then the last one is truly like those crimes of opportunity. It's like someone is just like walking around and like there's just like a man, for the most part is a man that like just once have always had the gene of like killing someone or like
Hmm.
raping and killing someone and they're passing by that town and they happen to see that like vulnerable person at that point.
Hmm.
And those are the hardest ones because the cops like don't know where to. The investigators are just like they have no idea. Like,
Yeah. There's
and
no dots to connect.
yeah, there's no dots to and they could have been like so many other people, right? Like that are like taking that same highway or like passing
Hmm.
by that same like at that same time. They just like don't know because it's like a corridor, like I-95 or something that just like passes by. So that's why
Yeah.
truckers, like truck drivers, were like so hard to find. And those are some of the biggest like serial killers too, because they were just going
Mm.
up and down all the time. And one
Yeah.
of those truckers got found out via DNA, like the Golden State Killer, because he was
Ah.
so random. So it was like hard to connect them. So anyway, that's my TED talk.
No, it kind of reminds me of the Today Show host whose mother got kidnapped, and they
Oh
had
my
not.
God. I listened to a whole podcast about this.
It seems so
Nancy
random.
Guthrie. Yeah, it was random. They were, I think, trying to get her for her money. At least that's what the investigator was saying. Like they still think it was because of her relevance, because she had been more vocal recently because she was hosting the Olympics or something in the
Mm-hmm.
town. And recently, 3 weeks prior, she had shown where she was from, and she did like a whole like because they were doing like a special about who the families were of like the hosts of the Olympics.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
that's where they showed like the mom and the grandma and everyone. And it
Mm,
was like a behind the scenes look at her family. And she was like, I care about my family that were really like close. And so they think
okay.
it was like they were like, okay, now we know where she is. We like they kind of started thinking we could probably like get her
Yeah.
money. But who knows? And I mean, and that poor lady, they already said that. They already sent a message saying that she didn't make it. So
Yeah. It's a really hard case to follow. Also, because I feel as if I also don't know what is true in a way, because when it first came out, I try to kind of keep up with it because I was like, oh, this is heartbreaking. And then it just kept being like, oh, this note's real, that note's not real. This note's real, this note's not real. And I'm like, what is, this case is like a crazy.
it is crazy. And the worst part is like there's gonna be no resolution unless like someone comes forward because it's so
Mm-hmm.
hard to like even track. They don't even know who that person was on the video that has been shared like multiple times.
Yep.
But yeah, man. And there's no real reason other than I think getting money, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's
So
like,
this is why this is the third level of difficulty that I was speaking about.
that's what I was going to say when you said the third one. I was like, that's what this
That's
reminds me
why
of.
it's difficult because no one knows who the fuck it could be.
Yeah.
It's just because of like money or like an ulterior motive that has nothing to do with I want this person killed. It's just like in order to for me to get money, this person kind of needs to disappear and for a little bit, right? Or like something has to happen.
Yeah. Dang. Well, anywho, on to our next subject, I guess, a segue.
I'm sure everybody knows well, if you don't know what the show Love Married at First Sight is, I will explain it for the Ryans of the world. Ryan is my husband's name who would not understand what the show was about for a solid 15 minutes, even though I told him what it was about. He just like wasn't getting it. And I'm like, it's a show where basically there's a team of experts. They're called the experts. And which interestingly enough, one of them is a pastor, but we can get into it later. And they match up singles. In this case, it was in the city of Chicago, season 18. And they basically go off of just pure, like, kind of likes, dislikes, values, things that they care about. Some of the physical traits that they're looking for, like if they say, I want someone that's tall, someone that's white, black, whatever. And they do a lot of research apparently, and then they match them up to get married, and they don't see each other until the day that they actually get married. Like they're at the altar and they see each other for the first time, and so they get married at that point. Then for 8 weeks they do like their marriage, and at the end of the 8 weeks they can decide whether they can stay together or get a divorce.
So they have to go through the full 8 weeks.
They have to no, they don't have to go through the full 8 weeks.
Oh, but I mean, like, that's
But
what they officially decide, I guess.
that's when they officially decide. Yeah,
Kind
but
of like
some
Love is Blind.
yes. But
Okay.
some people do, you can drop
Leave, yeah.
before like the end of the 8 weeks. So
And
anyway,
Sue's, just make a note, Sue is talking about the US version of Married at First Sight,
yeah.
not the Australian, because the Australian one is a little different. Even hearing you explain it, I see the difference
Okay.
because I watched the Australian one.
Okay. Got it. Well, first thing, because I think it's super interesting, like who signs up for this? Like, would you allow me to marry you, even like a close friend of yours, to just be like, this is the person you get married to without seeing them?
This may sound crazy in a way, but I would do it. Why not?
See, that's why I wanted to ask. 'Cause I feel like Kat would be one of those people.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you'd be like, okay, but if you trust the person enough. So I don't know if it would be like 3 random people.
So I love how they say experts, but I feel like that should be used very lightly, especially considering the track record of these shows.
Yeah.
If we're going based off their statistics, they don't do really well. But I do feel they at least try to help them mitigate, if anything,
Yeah.
throughout the time period. But I would be open to it because sometimes I feel like I'm someone who's in my head a lot. I can overthink things. And so kind of relinquishing that to someone else who's going to pick someone I really wouldn't mind and I wouldn't care. Like, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out,
That's
you
true. I
know?
guess that's a good way of looking at it. So I think that's how these singles went into it.
Hmm.
A lot of them were in their 30s and they get married, right, to their person, whatever. And then, but here's the sad though. So one of the couples is like, well, actually, there was like at least three couples that never kissed throughout the whole thing.
8 weeks. Wow.
Like, yeah, didn't even like slept in the same bed, but didn't even kiss. So I was like, this is like, it's like cat slow, like too slow. Like someone needs to do something at this moment.
Is it, did they say why they waited so long?
They weren't waiting. I don't think that they ever clicked. Like what they were saying was like we're building our connection and like we're
Okay.
trying to get
I wasn't sure
there.
if it
Like
was like a religious reason, like someone's like,
no
oh
no
my,
no 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 no.
okay,
It
okay.
was like no, like they were like fucking on like before
Okay,
fine.
got you.
But because they got to this marriage, they didn't know the person. They all, which I guess valid, like excuse of saying I need to get to know this person
Yeah,
before
of course.
anything happens. But it really is the fact that they're not physically attracted to them and
Mhm.
they're trying to build the mental attraction or like the emotional attraction to try to
Yes.
get somewhere, which is really hard to do. It happens,
Mhm.
but it's hard, I think, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I think it could happen, but it's just really hard.
This is the
So
other thing though. I mean, I feel 8 weeks is a long time. Like if you're not initially attracted to someone, but you really are wanting to take the leap, I think you would forego your initial thought of, I don't want to kiss him, but let me kiss him because I'm really wanting to see where this goes. Kind
that's
of thing.
that's what I would do. Yeah, exactly. That's what Ryan and I were saying. We're like, you might as well just like make out to see like if like there's
Yeah.
something there, But they didn't. They didn't anything anyway. So
Mhm.
they so one of the couples is having trouble like that, then another couple is having trouble like that. And the other couple, there's only basically out of the four couples, only one is like getting to a good place. So like they're like
Mhm.
hooking up, they're like actually like liking each other.
Yeah.
What the other couple is, you can just tell they're just like besties, like they're like good friends. Like,
Mhm.
but they don't hate each other, not they're just like best friends, but they're not like being physical with each other. And then
Mhm.
the last two couples, so one of them doesn't one of them is the guy likes her, but the woman doesn't really like him that much. Like you can just tell. And then on the
Mhm.
other one, it seems kind of like the opposite at first. And then one of the guys, you have to follow me here. So one of the guys that has been with this blonde woman, Michelle is her name, for, at this point is like 4 weeks. And she's like, I'm getting to see where it goes. Like she's having a lot of trouble with him because he lives at home with his
Wait,
parents.
I'm confused. Rewind. Wait a second. So one of the couples, the guy partner is named Michelle.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
His name is David. So it's
David.
David and Michelle. They got married.
Okay.
He is an interesting character,
Okay.
but also he lives at home with his
Okay.
parents. But
Okay.
she is very independent and she likes to like go out and have like fancy dinners. And he is more of like, let's stay at home, like, yada
Mhm.
yada. He's like a funny dude, but like very kind of like picture like an immature, like little brother adjacent
Okay.
vibe.
Got you.
And she's very like independent first child vibes.
Mhm.
So it's really hard because they're like not getting along, right?
Yeah.
And then so one day so apparently like they were kind of like okay, they were having like a better time midway through it. And she gets a text from him at 9 p.m. that says, you look so good today. I just want to eat you up.
Mhm.
But she's not with him. So
Mm.
she's like, so she sees him later that day and she goes, hey, what was that text about? And he was like, oh, that wasn't meant for you. It was meant for my cousin. And because my cousin sent me a picture of like Chinese food. And I was like, oh, that looks so good. Like, I want to eat it up.
Mhm.
And she's like, you're lying. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, no. Like, if he gets all defensive, like you can tell he's like very immature too. And he's just like, no, no, like that's like basically like, I don't know what I'm going to tell you. Like, I'm telling you the full story, like yada, yada. So it's a whole thing for like a week. She's still not like dropping it. And then she's like, show me the picture then. Like, show me the phone, show me the picture. And he's like, oh, I don't have it anymore. I deleted it, whatever.
Ah!
And so Ryan and I are like dying at this point. We're like, show her the picture. Like, so we're like watching the show. And then and then she talks to the experts about this, right? And even the experts like, well, show her the picture. Like, where is the photo? If
Where's the
this is,
conversation? It's not even the photo, the
yeah.
conversation.
And he's just like, I just don't have it, whatever. And then she's like, well, then I want to talk to your cousin. And he's like, I don't want you to get her involved. And then somehow she finds her number and calls her.
Yes.
And then the cousin is on the phone with her, and the cousin is like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Like, he had texted me saying to cover for him, but I didn't realize that it was like about, like it was like the impact of what he was asking me to cover for. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. I
Women
don't
supporting
condone
women.
this.
I love it.
Yeah, and she was like, he never like that conversation did not exist. And like that's not what happened. And so she's like, okay. So she goes back to him. Oh, and then by this time she finds out what he was doing that night. And he was hanging out with the other two couples. Like one of the women, her name is Madison.
Hmm.
And then her husband, trial husband, Alan. And then the couple that I told you that like they're BFS, but they don't like really do anything physical. So like they don't really matter for this story. So the
Hmm.
four of them are hanging out with David, like this David guy, right? And so she knows that's what was happening at that point. So she's asking them, like, do you guys see anything? Like, and they're all like, no, no, like we didn't see what he was just with us. Like we don't know. So she's like, oh, okay, cool. And then after she talks to the cousin, she starts like talking to some people, and then she's like, I have a feeling that he was texting the other girl, Madison, because she goes, if you think about it, like Michelle Madison, he
Hmm.
was with her or like around her. He's expressed multiple times that he only likes blondes, and that's the only other blonde person in the whole like crew.
Hmm. And
And
it's saying
they
like I saw you tonight. So who could he have possibly seen that night? Who was he around?
That's
Who?
exactly that's what she was saying. She was like, actually think there's no photo. I think that he was texting someone that he was in front of, saying
Hmm.
like, And so, and I'm like, this woman is smart, man. Like, it's just pure like intuition. Like, she was just
Hmm.
fucking. I loved her because she was just
Right.
and because then she goes because they work out together in the morning. So like, and Alan, the other guys, the other woman's husband is like, yeah, they're best friends. Like, they're really close. They work out together all the time, whatever. So they go on this like retreat on the weekend, and then after this guy David decides to come clean. So he's just like, yes, you're right. There was a woman that texted me a photo, and was texting with me, and her name is Tiffany. And she goes, her name was Tiffany. Like she goes, but that's weird because I feel like you meant to text an F, and and like she's like, that's T. And he goes, whatever you want to believe. I'm already coming clean. Like believe what you believe, because obviously the last thing she wanted was for like anything to
Yeah.
be like in the group, right? Even if they were not gonna like last or
She
whatever.
she kind of reminds me of when I see a dog sniffing out drugs and you see them chase the scent and then they finally find it. That's what she's doing. She's sniffing around. She's like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, not a T, it's an MM,
Yeah.
sir." And I'm like,
Yeah. And
"Mhm."
so she's like, well, I don't believe you. And then he's like, whatever, you believe what you believe. Obviously, like in her mind, I think they're like, about to be done or very close to be done.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
they go to this retreat, and the other couples there, like the other girl, Madison, and the husband. And obviously, like he's not like he's oblivious, right? So then she starts talking to him. She goes, I have a crazy theory, and that I think it's like her that he meant to text or whatever. And
Mhm.
then he starts thinking, and like they show in the show like all those like little times where he was like how was your day? And she goes, I was good. I worked on it, and at the gym with David. We were talking about our marriages. We had a really good conversation. He goes, oh, that's amazing. And then they like show them kind of like coming into their respective apartments because they all live in the same building
Mhm.
at the exact same time. So it'd be like 1:38, like 2:03, like 3:04. Like it's just like the exact same times. And so then she goes and confronts, because she's just like, I'm just gonna ask her. So she goes and asks her. She's like, hey, do you think that text was for you, this text message? And she goes, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't happen. And
That's
she's
not a
like,
good response.
that's not, yeah, that's what she was like, that's not a response to someone that's like not guilty.
Mhm.
So I was like kind of like getting into it, and then the producer, so she like kind of storms off. The producer chases the woman, Madison, and he goes, "Hey, is there any like truth to that?" And that's when she's just like, "I didn't mean to hurt anyone, like whatever." And like basically, it just comes out that they have a connection and that they're like falling for each other. And so basically, like the wife of this other guy and and then the husband of Madison, like Alan,
Mhm.
because she liked like men that were better dressed or whatever, had like spent $3,000 on new clothes. He was doing Invisalign. He started working out because she's really into the gym. So he was like doing everything like
Yeah.
for her to like him. And she was obviously like not liking him at all. And so he storms off, and then they're still like, I haven't seen the end, but they're still like on this phase where she's like, no, we're taking it slow. Like, we don't know what it means. Like, today, it was the first time that we said to each other that we like each other. And the other girl, Michelle, is like, it said, I want to eat you up. Like, what? She's like, that doesn't come across to me as like,
Yeah.
like a trial text, it comes across to me
That's
as
very direct.
there's been some like intimacy here,
Mhm.
that I haven't been privy to. So that was a drama. And then I looked them up on Instagram, and obviously they're together. They're married now. Those two.
Oh,
Like,
the 2 that had the affair?
yeah, that's they had the affair.
Wow.
But isn't that crazy?
I'm glad that the woman listened to her intuition and
So
she
that is the one thing that I'm taking from this
yeah.
more than anything, because I was like, wait, when I saw the text, even right now, I'm like, I bet you he's texting that other girl, because when they would talk, they would be like this, they'd be like, and
Mhm.
you're like, they have more chemistry than the entire fucking like cast
Yeah.
together.
I would say in that scenario, obviously it's very different than real life, in which I something may happen where you connect with someone else. Great. But I think it's the whole hiding it and being conniving on their part.
Yeah,
Like it would have been so easy for them to just come out and say, "Hey, we like each other. Sorry, let's
yeah,
switch."
yeah, yeah.
But
Or let me get out of the whole thing. Like, why are you
yeah,
even pretending like you're still trying? You're clearly not trying. Like,
yeah,
you're just, yeah. In their mind, they did nothing wrong, because they're like, well, we never hooked up with each other. It's like,
they definitely did.
well, no, I'm saying they didn't have like a sexual connection with their partners,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
their respective partners. So like in their mind, they were like, why do you guys care?
And that's the other thing that makes it so sad is because obviously what from when you told me the husband who got cheated on invested a lot into the relationship. That wasn't just physical. It was him buying new clothes, him doing Invisalign,
Yeah,
him doing this and that, where that's where it comes shady and sketchy. Like it's not just about, oh, if you have sex or not. That's very
right,
surface
right.
level way of thinking about it.
Yeah, they were like
So
emotionally invested in
yeah.
the marriage for sure. So pretty crazy. And apparently it's the first time that's ever happened in like the whole like 18 seasons of,
What?
yeah, 18 seasons of marriage.
Man, okay, everyone. I need you. This is why you need to watch the Australian version. The Australian version brings it all, the
Wait,
drama.
are they always like hooking up amongst each other?
Okay, not always. I don't want to make it seem like they're just trading around, but there's just there's
Are they
been
having orgies in the Australian version? I don't know what's going on.
no, there's just been a lot of, people trying to work it out and then they don't work it out and then they, find themselves with another person who's also having a hard time and a lot of drama surrounding, people who are attracted to another person's partner instead of their partner
Mhm.
and how things transpire. And it's just so good. You have to watch the Australian version. You're going to
Okay,
be
I'll
so
watch that one
grateful.
next for sure. Yeah.
And the one thing that I like about it is I don't know if I'm correct on this, but on the Australian version, they do these weekly big dinners where all the couples get together, have a meal, drink, they talk amongst each other, and then they go to a therapy session with all the group, like all the couples come in together. And then each couple goes up and sits by the experts. And then they get to decide if they stay or leave weekly.
Mm.
And if both people say stay, they stay. If both people say leave, you leave. If one person decides to stay and the other person leaves, you guys still have to work on it. So each week they kind of put their relationships to the test to see if they're going to stay or leave.
That sounds fun. Okay, I see.
And then the drama comes in though. The drama of it all is there's been times where there's a couple who's obviously it is not working. It's not going anywhere. It's not improving. It's probably worse than it was last week. But one person kept writing stay and everyone was shocked. Like, wow, she really must want to work through this. She must really want to make things work. But found out that she hit stay because she wanted to continue being around someone else, another guy who
Cool.
later on they would have a thing. And the one thing I love about the Australian show is the editors really went full crazy on like connecting the dots on everything. And it's just riveting TV. I can't say it enough. I love it. It's so
We
good.
love it.
So,
I know the whole premise is amazing,
mhm,
and the fact that like they fall in love with someone else is like also insane.
mhm.
But hey, at least in their case, like something good came out of it. Like they actually found their partner.
Yeah, hopefully for the long run they're happy and they'll never have to be sketchy with other people again and his
Yeah.
cousin doesn't have
And
to worry.
honestly, like that woman dodged the bullet because with that guy, because
Mhm.
again, should I remind everyone that he lives at home with his
Yeah.
parents and he
And
was in his 30s. So how to like, deal with like his like lie, like he just lying the whole time,
yeah.
and he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. So I wouldn't. like, I don't know, I just feel like it's not attracted to me with a man that, like, can't, like, handle,
Yeah,
like, life. You know what I mean? Like, life in
exactly.
every way, shape, or form, like, you have to be able to handle it from every aspect, like,
Yep.
financial, emotional, whatever, and he just couldn't in any way, shape, or form.
I
So
can't believe and he dragged his cousin into this. That is hysterical.
and he the cousin into this, so it makes it even less attractive, and the fact that
Yeah,
the other girl was, like, smitten by him, it's like, "What's wrong
that's
with you?"
insane. Yeah. Well, hopefully they have a happy
All I
marriage.
know is that I wanna be friends with Michelle, like,
Yeah.
that's all I got from this. I was like, "That is a bad bitch, and I feel like we need to be BFFs." Like,
Yeah, she is good. Her intuition is like professional level.
mhm.
It is
Professional
ingrained.
level, girl.
Yeah. She's
Yeah, she goes, "I think I'm having crazy thoughts, but I think, like," she's like, "Hear me out."
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
"You're
"This
not crazy, babe. Those are smart thoughts. That's the
shut up."
Lord talking to you."
Yeah.
You know?
It's all the feminine energy
Yeah.
talking to you. And just, like, let the feminine energy enter your body to find out this lying ass bitch.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah,
can tell you, out of my 34 years of life, I have seen more women be right with their intuition than wrong.
100%.
Like,
Always right.
it's just the statistics are very high on trust your instincts.
Mhm, mhm.
So, it's not crazy. I think if anything, you're cooking, babe. You're
Yeah,
cooking
yeah,
the
cooking.
thoughts.
And find you a trusted circle of other women
Yeah.
because if they are like you and you say that out loud, they'll be like, "That makes sense."
Uh-huh.
And then we'll just all, like, find
Uh-huh.
proof of
Yep.
your quote unquote "crazy thought."
Mhm.
We'll make sense of it.
That is a really good test to see whether or not you'd be good with someone, is their reaction to when you bring up that sort of, scenario in your head, whether or not they are about it and about to throw
Yeah.
down with you, or if they try to excuse it and,
Well,
"Whatever."
also because usually, especially if they've met, like, let's say that you're talking about a guy or whatever, and if, like, the group has met him, like, all the intuitions kinda, like, bubble into, like, one intuition
Mhm.
superpower. 'Cause all it's all the vibes, like, you're just like,
Yes.
"Yes," like, you've
It's
had,
like
like,
all the Power Rangers coming together.
all the small doubts, yeah, that
Mhm.
people like and then people start, like, kinda saying their little things that they have noticed, so be like, "Well,
Mhm.
I still see" but no one has ever, like, spoken about,
Yep.
it's been, like, kind of, like, on the DL. So you're like, "I have this story," and then there's somebody else that's like, "Well, I have this other part," and you're just it's like a puzzle,
Yep.
put it together, and then it gets amplified into, like, a, "He's lying."
We found proof. We found it all. We have a
Yeah.
filing system of it.
That's why I love it because it's so similar to, like, a cold case or, like,
Mhm.
a crime show because it's in individual pieces, like, none of it makes someone look guilty, but then when you put it all together,
Mhm.
it's like
It
that
creates a
person is
bigger
guilty as fuck.
picture.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So I guess
So
the
it's
a good takeaway is people who like crime shows should watch Married at First Sight and see.
I think that I just enjoy, like, that, like, mystery solving piece
Mhm.
of the whole, like, aspect, and maybe that's why I like the crime shows just because, like, someone has to, like, start from scratch. It's just,
Yep.
like, they find
Nothing.
something that's happened and then start, like, building on top of it, and it's kinda
Yes.
similar with, like, these shows of the fact that, someone is, like, cheating. It's, like, kinda
Mhm.
fun to watch someone start from, like, a nothing and have no proof to, like, be, like, breaking someone down, you know? Right, exactly.
So yeah.
Well,
What do
in
you wanna say in
conclusion, I think you
conclusion?
need to watch real stuff and make sure that you're not out here lying or
Mhm.
talking via notes app. That's how you know somebody's lying to you.
Notes app, be very aware of your hygiene during your period. Uh,
No sucking and pupping.
yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Amen. Bye. Thank you so much for being with us. And tell your friends, men, or enemies, we're not picky. Follow Hair Up, Bra Off everywhere you scroll. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.